All right, we're on the record in docket 22-02747. That is Edgewood Villas Limited Dividend Housing Association versus Raquel Blosick. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yeah, Raquel Blasick here.
Brian Lum on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
My understanding, this was based on an order to reinstate the initial landlord tenants. And then I have a email from Ms. Blosick that went to Anethea Brewer at the city of Lansing that I've added to the file that was added. Mr. Lum, how did you want to proceed today?
Good morning, Your Honor. Since that was filed, the majority of the balance has been paid off, and my client, Ms. Blosick, had entered into an agreement where the remainder would be paid over 3 months.
All right. So there's, is that your understanding, Ms. Blosick?
Yeah, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to indicate all parties appeared. And did you want to state that? Did you want to indicate those? So it's 2 payments left.
Three payments.
Okay.
And
what is what's the time frame for that, Mr. Lum?
So a payment of $69.44 would be due March 1st, together with the rent. Another payment of $69.44 on April 1st, and then a third payment on May 1st of $69.43.
And the last payments on what date?
May 1st, together with the rent.
May 1st. All right. Is that plan different than the order for reinstatement, or are you going to follow that up with a new order?
I was going to follow it up with a new conditional dismissal, if that works for you.
Okay, so to be followed up with order. And that's your understanding, Ms. Blosick, those 3 payments, and the plaintiff will follow up with order and dismissal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'll wait the order to catch up with the file. I've indicated the 3 payments for the record. Anything else, Mr. Lum, on this file?
I would just ask for Ms. Blosick's permission to sign on her behalf.
Ms. Blosick, does Mr. Lum have your permission to sign the document so it comes right to the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So with that permission granted, the document will come signed on behalf of the tenant to the court. Anything else, Mr. Lum, on docket 22-02747?
That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Blosick, you're all set. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
All right, you're all set today. Thank you for your appearance.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Roberts, Latoris Roberts, you've been giving a breakout room prompt. You need to join your public defender in that in the break. All right. Yeah, it should be for the motion. So we're on the record, docket 22-04254. That's Brad Dowrick versus Renee Case. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
This is Brad Dowrick.
In Renee Case.
All right, this is the time set for a motion. I believe this is on Mr. Dowrick's motion for escrow. Mr. Dowrick, how would you like to proceed today?
Yeah, I was just seeking at least 1 month's rent in escrow. Miss Case, originally Miss Case had the water was turned off at the property. I didn't know if, I mean, it was from non-payment of rent, and the only reason the electricity stayed on was because the Board of Water and Light doesn't turn the electricity off during the winter months. And so I was worried that the gas would be shut off next, and then I would have problems with freezing pipes or other damages to the property. But Miss Case owes at this point $3,960, not including court costs. And the court hearing isn't until next month, so that will be, another $1,000 by then. So I was just seeking at least 1 month's worth of rent in escrow.
All right, Ms. Case, your response?
Yes, I had struggled to come up with income due to not working. I had lost my job for babysitter issues, being a single mom of 3 kids. So I did struggle. I did pay Board of Water and Light in full, and I currently just got hired for 2 different jobs. So I'm working a 3rd shift as well as a 1st shift job to come up with the money, as well as I just filed my taxes. So I'll be getting my taxes back as well. And I finally got my SCR form back from DHS. So I'm able to proceed and ask for assistance through a couple churches as well as the church I go to. So I just needed a little bit more time to come up with it. I told Brad, my landlord, that I would have the money in full when it came to March 6th. It wouldn't be an issue because of everything that I'm capable of coming up with, or that I would move by then. But I'm more than confident that I would have it then. I just need a little time because it took so long for me to get in the position I am, to be able to provide for my kids and come up with everything.
You understand Mr. Dowrick's position here, that is the
Yes.
gas paid on the house?
Yeah, yes, both are paid.
There's worry that if the gas isn't paid, then there would be pipes or anything that needs heat at issue in regards to the keeping the apartment or the residence habitable. Are you indicating for the court on the record that the gas is paid through next month?
Yes, Your Honor. The gas as well as Board of Water and Light are both paid. And there isn't an issue with that at all. Just coming up with a month's rent at the time when I'm waiting on 2 checks as well as my taxes is kind of a struggle. I just know I will have it in full by the time I have our next court date. I understand his position and how it's really hard for him in this position to be waiting on money that he is owed. So I do get his point of view. I just ask that if he could work with me and give me a little bit more time or move by that date, that it would be possible.
Mr. Dowrick, your response to Ms. Case?
I mean, okay, well, it's good that the utilities are back on. And I kind of assumed that. I had called Board of Water and Light last week, but I guess regardless if you moved out or not, you would still owe the money. So that's the problem. So
Right.
Correct.
It's been. I mean, you owe money from November, December, January, February. So this is 4 months of me not collecting any rent. So for me asking for 1 month's rent now in escrow, I don't see how that is the least bit unreasonable.
Right. I would indicate that I don't find it to be unreasonable. However, I'm going to take the motion that's taken under advisement. I'm going to revisit the motion on March 6th, which is the formal hearing date in regards to Ms. Case making full payment or vacating the property. So the motion's taken under advisement until March 6th. I do believe if there's a problem with the habitability, I'm sure Ms. Case would let Mr. Dowrick know. Then you're required, Ms. Case, to place money in escrow if you're indicating that. It appears right now that you're not indicating that, and therefore I don't have any indication that the property is not habitable. So there's no reason for escrow at this point. But I do, Ms. Case, do you have a number on that March 6th date, Mr. Dowrick, that Ms. Case should be aware of? Because including the rent.
As far as how much it will be owed, March 6th.
Right, because right now I've got the tenant owes $2,945 through January, right. And then but I don't have a full March 6th date. And if you could put that, if you're willing to put that on the record, that would give Ms. Case notice to exactly how much she needs on March 6th or to vacate the property.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I was kind of misunderstanding that as well. I know that I owed $1,610.
Yeah, Ms. Case, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Sure.
Okay. The paperwork said 1610, and then that would also not count January, February, as well as March. So I was a little unsure of that number as well.
Yeah. So if you have a number for Ms. Dowrick, I'm not going to expect you to throw the math together now, but if you have a number for Ms. Dowrick for March 6th, please provide that to her. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I've got it right now. I've got the ledger right in front of me. The last payment was November 7th of 2022. That was amount paid was $895, and a balance of you had a balance of $1,490. So you still owed $595 for November, and then you owed all of December, all of January, all of February, and then it will be all of March. So if you total all that up with the $50 late fee, that's, and not including court costs, it's $4,975.
All right. So you have a $4,975, and that's due March 6th, ma'am. So go ahead, Mr. Dowrick.
Yeah, I was just saying that's correct. That's through March. That doesn't include February, and that's possession, not the money judgment.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. If you could.
Well, that means that's the entire rent for possession purposes, and then that changes if there's allegations of damage, etc., to the property. But that's for possession purposes. Is that fair, Mr. Dowrick?
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a partial. That won't take. That takes up all of March. It doesn't take. It's just a partial amount.
All right. I'll allow the parties to keep talking. Ms. Case, your date is March 6, 2023. I'm taking Mr. Dowrick's motion for escrow under advisement, and I'll see the parties on March 6th at 3 o'clock. All right.
Yes.
Anything else, Mr. Dowrick?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Honor.
All right, thank you. We'll see you March 6th, Ms. Case.
Thank you so much.
You still there, Renee?
You're all set, Mr. Dowrick.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Which one do we have next?
Williams or Comfort's case.
Okay.
Williams is on Simmons Docket.
Oh, That's why I didn't see it online.
And Maycomer is GC on our case.
Oh, let's do Williams. Let's go ahead and do. We only have a couple of cases on. So, Mr. Austin, are you ready on Mr. Williams?
I'm ready, yes.
All right. And is that the Hingham County Jail?
No, he's here first.
Oh, he's here in person? All right, Mr. Williams, you can come up here. Thank you. And then we'll do Miss McComer's case next. So we're on the record in docket 23-00235, People of the State of Michigan versus Christopher K. Williams. This is the time set for probable cause conference. This is a Judge Simmons file. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Mr. Pfeiffer. How are you? I didn't even see you there. Mr. Austin, how are you?
I'm well, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. And Jared Austin appearing on behalf of Mr. Williams. He is present, standing to my right.
And sir, you are Christopher K. Williams?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for probable cause conference. Mr. Pfeiffer, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, there is a wrinkle in the matter, that being that there is a separate case with the defendant and the same victim from day of offense of January 15th, 2023, that I personally signed in my office yesterday. That being significant charges of home invasion, the first degree, domestic violence, second offense, attempted kidnapping, custodial interference, and assault or assault and battery. Now, I do not believe it's been sworn to. I was made aware that this case was in a different APA's doc queue, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. I immediately screened it, called Mr. Austin to let him know so he can give his client as much of a heads up as possible. But it did not get back to me for the complaint to get signed to until yesterday afternoon. So I don't believe it's ready to be sworn to. Will be brought over here before next week for the preliminary examination date. What I think would be the most appropriate way to handle this is to leave that PE date on, but treat it as a PCC in this matter.
All right. Mr. Austin, any comment?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I don't necessarily have an objection to proceeding that way. I have gone over that with Mr. Williams, that there is this new file doesn't appear to be issued yet, but sounds like it'll likely be issued within the next few days, very likely, at least before our next court date next week. I've made him aware of that. And so I don't have, it would make the most sense, I think, Your Honor, for efficiency and to consolidate the matters if at all possible. So if the court wishes to leave the hearing date on
Sure.
for next week and treat it as a PCC with the anticipation that Mr. Williams could perhaps be arraigned on that new file then or before, depending on when it's issued, so that we can get the dates for the preliminary hearings all aligned. I don't have an objection to proceed.
All right. I'll leave a note from Judge Simmons that we're leaving this on for PCC for February 16th, 2023, that there is a new file that defendant most likely needs to be arraigned on for that day. I would think. Arraigned on, and at this time, I understand things can change. It's the party's intention to treat leave on for PCCPE to treat the 2/16/2023 date as an additional PCC for both files. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Pfeiffer?
It is, Your Honor. And for the record, the new case is not anything that would have been committed while Mr. Williams was on bond.
All right.
Before that.
And so if we're treating it as a PCC date for February 16th, do we require witnesses to be there or, okay, so I'm going to indicate for Judge Simmons' file that no witnesses will be subpoenaed for the new PCC date. Your client may have to waive his right to a preliminary examination within 21 days, but I'll let Judge Simmons worry about that.
Certainly, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record, docket 23-00235, Mr. Pfeiffer?
Not from the people, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Austin?
Nothing further back.
All right, Mr. Williams, we'll see you back here on, if you'll be across the hall, February 16, 2023 at 8:30, okay, sir?
Yes, will I get a copy of that?
You should get a notice from the court officer for, or can you give him a notice for that PCC for Judge Simmons? Yeah, we'll give you a notice before you leave today, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll be back.
And then Ms. McComber, let's go on.
We got no writs.
The defendant. I'll let this make homework tonight, but basically, she can recommend that.
All right, that's,
What are those?
I don't have service on that too.
Well, she contacted the public, or she contacted this, so she must have gotten service.
All right.
somehow, but contacted me.
All right, we're on the record in docket 23-00176 GZ. That's State of Michigan versus Ashley Hernandez. Will the
Good morning.
parties please, go ahead, Ms. Macomer.
Sorry, good morning, Your Honor. Natalie Macomer on behalf of the people.
All right,
They're still.
Mr. Roberts, you need to mute yourself.
I'm sorry.
Courtroom can hear you. I just dated that February 9th. It should probably be February 10th, but we'll fix that. All right, Ms. McComber, and there's an indication Ms. Hernandez is not here today. I had an indication that there wasn't service.
Your Honor, I do have a proof of
go
service
ahead.
that I was going to file with the court today when we came in. I just hadn't made it over to the court yet to file that proof of service. I did get
All
permission from Ms. Hernandez to serve her with the paperwork via email. I have those emails and then that proof of service to file with the court.
All right, so Ms. Hernandez did have service, and then you have an indication that at least you were told why she didn't appear today?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hernandez sent me an email last night indicating that she, for mobility issues, was under the initial impression that this hearing was by Zoom this morning, asked me to call her. I received that email in my inbox, but I did not see it until this morning. I responded to Ms. Hernandez this morning and indicated that it was supposed to be an in-person hearing. We discussed the fact that it would be difficult for her to make it into court twice, and potentially maybe we should have the hearing the same time as a preliminary examination. She indicated that that would work out better for her mobility issues and asked if we could adjourn it to that date. I contacted the court staff this morning to find out the best way to go about that. They indicated we should just appear on Zoom and explain to the court the mobility issues and the intent for both parties to have one hearing on the matter heard at the same time. When I contacted Ms. Hernandez back to let her know to appear by Zoom at 8:30, she didn't respond to that email, so I called her on the telephone. When she answered, she indicated that she was at urgent care with her daughter. They were awaiting x-rays for an injury. I didn't go into any detail with her about that, but I did ask her if that was something that had just happened, considering we hadn't discussed that in any of the emails. And she indicated that that injury did just happen, and that they were simply waiting for the x-rays and the doctor to assess that, and that she would be willing to provide the court with paperwork or documentation to show that she was at urgent care this morning. So at this point, Your Honor.
Is it your preference today then to go ahead and move this to the preliminary examination date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. Oh, what is the problem, Ms. McComber? I've just been told there's a problem.
She hasn't been arraigned.
Oh, Ms. Hernandez has not been arraigned yet.
And the way
She has not been.
case, we won't get the case that she will probably be arraigned in the cycle where your judge school, we don't have any exams left. So I'm not really sure.
It's my understanding that Ms. Hernandez originally did not appear for her February 3rd arraignment date. I did speak with Ms. Hernandez on Monday and indicated to her that she had missed that arraignment date, so she was going to contact the court. Based on the new arraignment date, I assume she did contact and obtained an arraignment date of February 16th.
Okay, so D is to be arraigned on February 16th. On 2/16, I would think, Ms. McComber, since I'm not, 2/16 is,
Thursday.
yeah, that's a Thursday.
The PCC date would be the second day we are out of rotation. So I
So-
believe that's how that will fall.
So my guess on this then is that the defendant will be arraigned on this file, and we probably should take this motion under advisement until you find out who's gonna handle the prelim.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that first week, I'm at a conference through SCAO, and so I'm out of the rotation. So I do think that she's gonna land on somebody else's docket. And
Okay.
you probably, this motion should probably follow that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I set this case for a review for the 23rd, and I'll see what's going on.
Yeah, so let's set, so we don't lose the your motion. Let's set your motion for review.
On the 23rd.
All right, on February 23rd at 8:30. And that'll give us a trigger to see where the case is landed, so we can make sure this follows the actual prelim file, which just seems to be the most efficient way of handling both of these together.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree with that.
All right, and I indicated for the file that the defendant failed to appear indicates that they have medical documentation in order to explain their non-appearance, so that can be also reviewed at the preliminary examination by whatever judge gets it. And if need be, I'll find out what judge gets it, and I'll explain to them if they can't read my writings or understand my notes, what we did here.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, and you don't need to appear for that February 23rd date. Just touch base with my court staff, and they'll let you know who ended up drawing the prelim.
Okay, I can do that, Your Honor.
All
Thank you.
right.
Yes.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 23-00176?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. McComber. We'll see you. Thank you for your appearance today.
Yep, have a good one.
It's Mr. Milks. All right, we're on the record in docket 23-00325, Latoris Deonta Roberts, People versus Latoris Deonta Roberts. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Erin Hesketh on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Milks on behalf of Mr. Roberts. Both of us appearing via Zoom, Your Honor. We're waiving our in-court appearance.
All right, sir, you are Latoris Roberts,
Yes, sir.
and you can hear me all right, Mr. Roberts?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Housefield, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding in speaking with defense counsel that we're going to leave the matter on for preliminary examination next week, the 16th at 8:30.
8/2/16. All right. Is that your understanding, Mr. Milks?
That is complete and accurate, Your Honor. Yes, thank you.
All right, Mr. Latoris, we'll see you back here on February 16th at 8:30. The council has had the probable cause conference, and it's been left on for that date. If you have any questions, please keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Milks. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you back here at 8:30. Anything else for the record in 23-00325, Ms. Housefield?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Milks?
No, thank you, sir.
All right, that's all for the record in that file. Mr. Roberts, you're all set. You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom.
All right.
Yeah, how's your guy left this and then PCC, we're gonna have to adjourn that one because he isn't. That's fine. We can leave him on for exam because it's not county related.
Let's call Mr. Brown's case. Yeah, back on my deck. Because I don't see Paul. Is there a Paul Holt here? All right. So we're on the record in docket. Mr. Brown, we'll call your case. We're on the record in docket 22-01792 LT. That's Raz and Bucher LLC versus Paul Holt. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? You're on mute, Mr. Brown.
That always helps if I unmute.
Yep.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
And this is the time set for a, I think this is a, I think you set this for, we set this for a second pretrial. Is that what we did?
Technically, probably yes, but it's actually the first pretrial after an amended complaint only for money damages. A possession judgment was previously entered, as well as a writ and an order of eviction. So we got possession back after that writ was issued, and that was issued late November. So we just simply asked for a money judgment with the same amounts that was on the possession judgment.
Right. So, and I had the defendant failing to appear at October 12th at the formal hearing. It appears this was scheduled for 8:30. It is now 9:03. And the defendants failed to appear on the, I will call this a pretrial on the money judgment. Mr. Brown, so you're requesting a default judgment on the money judgment today?
I am, Your Honor. And it looks like it'll be a little bit more than the possession claim because we have that one additional proof of service fee.
And you'll follow that up with an order?
I will, Your Honor.
All right, I will indicate at the previous formal hearing, we placed numbers on the record out. So we'll supplement those with whatever money judgment. And so I'll sign any order that you advance to the court concerning the money judgment concerning this fail to appear, which is why we set it for formal hearing today. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record, docket 22-01792? So orally, your default judgment is granted, and I'll sign your follow-up order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So that's all for the record, 22-01792. Mr. Brown, have a nice day and a nice weekend. We'll
You
see
as
you
well,
next
Your Honor.
time.
Thank you.
All right. David George. Is he? You need to go get him.
Oh, he's on Zoom.
Oh, is he? All right, let's do that one.
And we're gonna have to adjourn this one for pause because of the thing next week. The moving of the inmate.
Oh, all right, Mr. Goodrich. All right, we're on the record on two files. docket 22-01903 and docket 23-00326. That's People of the State of Michigan versus David George. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Randall Berman on behalf of the people.
And Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. George, who's appearing from jail over Zoom today.
And sir, you are David Anthony George?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, and you can hear me all right, Mr. George?
Yes, I can.
All right, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Behrman, how are we proceeding? And I don't know if you're aware, but the court's in inventory at the end of next week.
No, the inmates are being moved.
Oh, the inmates are being moved on the 16th. Is that pursuant to the move, to the new facility being moved? So they can't transport anybody.
I'll defer to Mr. Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Behrman.
Fortunately, we have a plan to alleviate your
All
problem.
right.
First, we would like to leave both of these matters set for preliminary exam.
Okay.
However, I would like to address bond on Mr. George's case. He has one case, the 22 case, he has a PR bond on. On the 23 case, which is a felonious assault charge, he has a $3,000 10% bond at the moment. I would ask the court to consider changing that to a PR bond with GPS tether on that case to provide the type of security the court is looking for. However, it would allow him to be released at this time. He does live in the same apartment building as the victim in that case. However, he's told me that he's perfectly willing to stay at the city rescue mission while this case is ongoing. And he has a friend who can get his items from his apartment and deliver them to him, so he doesn't even have to go to the building. So we would ask the court to consider making that change. That would also allow the preliminary exams to go on as scheduled next week, and the prosecutor's office wouldn't have to change any subpoenas, and the court wouldn't have to reschedule anything, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So first on, we're leaving on for prelim for next week.
Yes.
And with the understanding that we can't transport them, so that becomes a problem. That's not the defendant's fault. That's the closing and moving of the jail, which leads to a lack of transportation. So I think there's good cause to adjourn it for the following week for prelim, but I will entertain any response to the PR motion from the people concerning file 23-00326, which is a felonious assault.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I appreciate Mr. Goodrich basically said half of what I was going to say. They do live in the same apartment. The allegations are that the defendant hit the victim in the head with a bicycle lock, cut her head. And so they do live in very close proximity. So if the court is going to entertain and give a PR bond, not only would I request a tether, but I would request that be an exclusion zone to keep him out of that area to protect her. I do know, and it is a super long time ago, but in 1990, the defendant did have an escape custody with violence on his record.
Right.
Which is concerning, although, like I said, a very long time ago. My initial thought was, well, we're going to be back here in a week for the prelim. Understanding what I've just said, it's best to just leave it as is at this point. And I also know that there's, according to the Sheriff's Department website, a hold on the defendant from Eaton County. So I don't know that he's going anywhere anyway at this point. So I would oppose the motion. I mean, it's 3,000, 10% for hitting someone in the head with a bicycle lock, cutting your head open.
Right, and this is an habitual fourth notice. So I've got a prior B&E, a prior retail fraud first, and a prior escape from jail. I'm reluctant to lower the bond at this point. I'm not reluctant. I'm not going to lower the bond at this point just because of the defendant's criminal history. Although I understand the nature of the motion to reduce bond in this matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave on for preliminary examination for next week and then adjourn that. And then adjourn for good cause.
Can I say something in the matter?
You can, but you shouldn't say anything about the facts, and you probably shouldn't say anything that you haven't run by your attorney, Mr. Goodrich, but you're free to speak if you choose to.
I would just like to say that I have not been in trouble with the law for a long time, and the circumstances around the escape or whatever, I don't really recall that. I never tried to escape from nothing, but I do have my own business going, and in good faith that I would return. I would go to the city rescue mission, and I would return for court. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to keep my business going and need to be out there to keep my affairs in order. I have no other problems with Rebecca Taylor or nobody else. And I would not try to flee or go anywhere because of the situation.
Thank you, sir. Well, I mean, now I just looked at what I wrote down and it doesn't make logical sense. So I'm not leaving it on for prelim next week because of course we can't have a prelim next week because we can't transport him at this time. So I'm going to adjourn for good cause and we'll set a new preliminary examination date.
February 23rd at 8:30.
So we'll set it for February 23rd at 8:30. The reason for the adjournment is that, and it's of no fault to the defendant, so he's not waiving any rights. But at this time, we can't transport him because there's no transport being done next Thursday for the preliminary examination, which is set that day. We've set it the soonest date after, which is February 23rd at 8:30, adjourning for good cause. I've indicated for the record, the refusal for the reduction in bond is because of the prior history and the nature of the felonious assault, which occurred here. And then Mr. George, I understand your position. You've made a record. Mr. Goodrich has advocated on your behalf. So the next date on this will be February 23rd at 8:30. This will be adjourned for good cause for lack of transportation. Anything else for the record on either one of these files, 22-01903 or 23-00326? Mr. Behrman?
Not on behalf of the people, thank you.
Anything, Mr. Goodrich?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record. Thank you for your appearance today. And Mr. George, you're all set. Ms. Whitty, let's go ahead and call your case.
Thank you.
60. So we're on the record in docket 23-00160. That's 2020 property management versus Mackenzie Dickens. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Your Honor, Joy Whitty appearing on behalf of plaintiff landlord, 2020 Property Management LLC.
All right, this is the time set for a motion on the matter. I do not see Miss Dickens in the physical courtroom. I don't see her in the Zoom courtroom. This is brought on your motion for injunctive relief, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm making sure that we have some type of service on Miss Dickens or Miss Pena. Miss Pena is the other person on the paperwork. Were you able to serve Miss Dickens or Miss Pena?
This matter was posted.
Oh, that's right. Then I do have what looks like the contract. This was not initially part of the file. It's kind of odd. All right. So I have service by post. It appears that Miss McDickens and Miss Pena have failed to appear today. Ms. Whitty, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'm prepared to argue our motion for injunctive relief, or if you want to do it by default, either way is fine.
Well, I have your motion on injunctive relief. Why don't you make a brief record concerning your motion for injunctive relief, just so the record indicates it? And then I also find them in default for their fail to appear.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our motion is brought under MCR 4.201H1. It appears that the defendants either gave a key to their apartment or simply abandoned it. It has now been taken over by squatters. There are people coming and going all night and all day. There's loud music being played. People have been observed smoking crack. There was another tenant assaulted by a man with a knife. Garbage and eggs are being thrown off the back porch. There's noise. The deadbolt has been broken off. And so the other tenants are contacting the landlord constantly. They feel unsafe, and therefore, for our motion, we are asking that the squatters stop all criminal activity, that they permit the lawful residents quiet enjoyment of the property, and upon any further violations by the squatters, that an immediate possession judgment issue the health hazard case.
So the motion's granted. There's also a default for the defendants failed to appear, and I will sign the order, any order in regards to possession of the property. You'll advance that order to me, Ms. Whitty?
Yes, Your Honor, you should receive it shortly.
All right. So motion is granted. Also, defendants failed to appear. And order to catch up with file. With file. Anything else for the record, Ms. Whitty, on docket 2300160?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll wait to sign your order, Ms. Whitty. Have a nice weekend.
You too. You too. Thank you.
I'm starting to think that Mr. Carter, your client is, we're having transportation issues once again.
I believe you that MAFC should be able to.
All right. All right, so let's call that case. So he's not present and he's not on
We
Zoom.
just found out
All
yesterday.
right, all right. So we're on the record in docket 22-337. I'm running out of, I'm on the second page far away. And that is People versus Glenn Allen Skeen. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Honor, Randall Berman on behalf of the people.
And please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of Mr. Skeen, who is not present, and according to further research, he's at MDOC now.
My understanding is we attempted to rid him out of Clinton County. He's now in the Michigan Department of Corrections. So we have this is set for plea and preliminary examination both.
Well, this could be a blessing in disguise. I was informed by the prosecutor earlier this week that perhaps another file is being sworn to and open. So that could result in a whole different negotiation. So I indicated to the prosecutor to call off his witnesses, and we weren't going to be entering a plea any day anyways, and I'd be asking for an adjournment.
All right.
Based on the new information.
Right, and there's a pending new case. It appears that efficiency would dictate some universal a look at all three cases for our purposes. Mr. Behrman, response?
Everything Mr. Carter said is true. According to the NDOC Otis The defendant was sent to MDOC on February 7th, or that's the date his picture was taken. He may have arrived a little before that.
Right.
So it was earlier this week. No one knew about it. And like I told Mr. Carter, we just found another case that it may not have been, I was trying to get it sworn to this week so we could arraign him today and try to expedite all of this.
Right.
I don't even know if it got sworn to yet. So when we see him, he'll need to be arraigned, and hopefully due to the fact he's in prison, maybe we can get everything taken care of quickly.
And I don't think can we well, MDOC can
We
transfer.
can transfer MDOC,
Yeah.
whenever, but we can't do a road with it.
Yeah, so.
I-
So we can't rid him here in a week.
I don't. I'm trying to think of logistics here. I prefer to have this one set after he gets arraigned or at this same time, because once he gets arraigned, then we can move forward with.
Right. I think I could arraign him and then we could do the prelim, or we could, but he's due a prelim within 21 days. So that would fix that issue. I don't want to rid him twice.
Right.
For, to arraign him and then to do the prelim.
And I'm not unsure on this. Does this court not do arraignments by Polycom with MDOC?
For MDOC, we would video arraignment for the arraignment. We would PCC the video. We would Zoom with MDOC for the PCC. And then we only read on the exam with MDOC. However, not knowing when that's going to be, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 5 weeks, it could be 6 weeks. It depends on MDOC and when the court receives the paperwork and when magistrate's availability. So there's 3 different things in play there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of variables because it's got to be signed by the prosecutor's office. It's got to be put on the magistrate's schedule.
Well, then I guess my suggestion would be is not to set this for a prelim, but another PCC down the road. And that way nobody's getting writted or witnesses or anything.
We can do the first 2 out of 3 by video.
So I just looked, it was signed earlier this week by
Okay.
my office. Hopefully it's been brought here. So
You're gonna set it for PCC in a couple weeks.
I guess I just looked, the new charge is the same as the old charge, they both RC, stolen motor vehicle. We can look into it and see if there's a way to do an arraignment and or an arraignment and then a PCC on the other older file at the same time. Get Mr. Carter an expedited police report to look at, and maybe take it out.
I have no issues with it.
All right. Well, they could definitely get you the paperwork so you'd at least know what's coming down the pike. Let's set it for PCC, this file.
Not worried about that. So I eat a few hours.
2 weeks?
In fact, they don't get it 2 weeks.
3 weeks to be safe. And however so let's set it for PCC and see if we can. He should get arraigned by then, I would think.
I'm sorry, what date did you give?
I haven't got a
Oh,
date.
okay.
I haven't got a date yet.
March 3rd
Okay.
at,
And I believe he's already waived his 21
yeah,
days, so.
at 8:30.
So it's reset for PCC for March 3rd at 8:30.
You want that by Zoom.
And the PCC can be by Zoom, especially if he's in MDOC.
And that may change it after MDOC.
All right. We'll check with the MDOC to see if they can accommodate. That should give him plenty of time to be arraigned, set the PCC, and see if we can put this all together so that, we're not ridding him out twice.
Is there a way we can check real quick if the other case has been sworn to? Because as soon as I get notification it was sworn.
I do not believe it's been sworn to.
Okay.
It certainly hasn't been entered yet, and I'm not in the group. You can check with the criminal clerk's office if
Okay.
you want to. go to the counter real quick and see if they have it yet.
Okay,
So if my judge isn't on call, I don't usually see what they've been signing.
Right.
that's fine, because once I get word that it's been sworn to, I'll let the clerks know to set up an arraignment and that he's got a PCC on 3/3 anyway.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah,
That'll be outside 21 days. If it happens soon, that'll create a whole thing.
Is it so long as it's been sworn to? Yes.
yes. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
You'll be on fire then.
All right, anything, so this has been, this reset for PCC on March 3rd, 8:30 by Zoom. It's my understanding that Mr. Skeen, the defendant, is at MDOC. Anything else for the record, docket 2203307, Mr. Behrman?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Carter?
No, Your Honor. Well, actually, yes, I think you had mentioned there's 3 files, or is there another file that I'm
No,
unaware of?
this
Okay.
was set for pre and prelim, and then we have the pending file.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
I might have misspoke.
right.
By that time, I might have added a file. Who knows?
Okay.
Your Honor, what's his bond on this case?
His bond on this case is $10,000 PR.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a bond.
He may
I
not. That was the
going through all
initial.
This whole thing thinking he didn't have a bond. I would have made a motion to revoke bond a while ago.
Let's see, they're not present at I think he's always been out. He's been in Shiawassee County, we thought he was, and then we thought he was in Clinton County.
Well, let's clean it up.
All right. Okay,
Or do you want to find out?
so he's getting at least credit for being incarcerated.
I'm sorry.
So did you want to revoke bond so he's getting credit for being incarcerated?
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is, I'll do some research of when he got locked up. I'll talk to Mr. Berman here. Maybe we do a stipend order of retroactive.
All right, all right,
Revoking bond.
all right, just let me know.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record, docket 2203307. Sir, on backup east, could you please identify yourself? Sir, on
Bill.
Say it again, sir.
DeAndre Bill.
So we're on the record in docket 2202039. That's Tout Point Master Fund versus Sarah Timmer and Pamela Timmer. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Morella Albu, P67035 for the plaintiff.
All right, and this is the time set for a motion in the matter. This was scheduled for 8:30. It is now 9:28. I do not see Sarah Zimmer or a Pamela Timmer in the Zoom courtroom. I don't see them in the actual courtroom. Ms. Albu, how would you like to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor, this is our motion for the issuance of the writ. There was a judgment issued on November the 2nd, 2022, giving possession to the plaintiff. The writ was applied for more than 56 days after the judgment, and therefore we submitted the motion. And we are at this point are asking for the issuance of the writ. I believe we submitted the writ application with the motion.
I think I have, let me make sure I have both. I have an order Yes, I have the order was submitted and both the motion was submitted. I do have the order. Let me see if I've got the motion here.
Okay, oh, but not the
And I
red.
have the motion.
Oh.
That's correct. So, so based on the defendant's failed to appear a second time, the default is granted, and I will sign both. I will sign the order of eviction.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Albu, anything else for the record in docket 22-02039?
No, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too, thank you. I'll sign that on the bench, and then we should have it. Then you should have it back in the next couple days, I would think.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, take care of it. And some down. Take care of it. And down. This is gonna be around for. Last Friday. We go. I'm not going out there. I ain't saying this name, that name. You're not. It's not gonna be about. I gotta get this out of this camp. This, I can't keep. Yo, man, you know, name. This gotta be a driver. No, it's an accident. Hopefully it comes back. Yeah. And so, like I said, all back.
Did you already get your blood drawn?
You did that, all that I'm.
Why, you haven't eaten?
I
Wanna run into the chow hall quick and maybe get your snack bag and come back?
And then I'm gonna need some, I'm gonna need some, to get this, some clothes changed.
Or you can wait another 15 minutes. No, you're not.
I'm gonna get the lunch. I'm gonna get the lunch. Come back. Grab the camera more. You do it right here? Okay. Yeah.
We're on the record in docket 21-01885. People of the state of Michigan versus Timothy S. Hauser. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Erin Housefield on behalf of the people.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Hauser.
All right. And this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Housefield, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, there's, I guess, some questions. The defendant, to the best of all parties' knowledge this morning, was in the custody of MDOC in Jackson. He was going to appear by way of a video writ this morning at 10 a.m. for this PCC. We just, in the past 10 minutes, became aware from an email from MDOC that he was transferred this morning. Somehow the writ was missed on their end.
Okay.
We are unsure of where he was transferred to. The Otis tracking system still shows him in Jackson. I'm sure it will be a little while until that gets updated. So at some point, he is in the custody of MDOC at a location unknown. It appears that we will have to have this matter reset in order to find his location, do a writ, and bring him before this court. The issue that the people have is that in December, on December 15th, the people received a 180-day notice from MDOC. And so as quickly as the court could reset this matter and certainly note the file that this isn't at the prosecutor's
Right.
doing, so that we can track that for purposes of timeliness.
All right, so I'll indicate that we held the PCC, that defendant is lost in the MDOC system someplace right now, and what we're doing is we need to know where to writ him out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Unless the court has new information.
The email from MDOC indicated that he was moved, however, the writs were following him for next week. We forwarded the writs he has for next week in March, but this one was missed for today. So that leads me to believe that the writ would be honored for next week.
You want to just leave it on? See if
I
they
can
were,
follow up with MDOC.
I would
before
think they
off
need
the
at least a
record.
week to figure out. Because MDOC needs a week, right?
Well, if the writ was already done, it's already in their transport queue. It's just which location you get him from is my understanding.
We're trying to apply reason to the
Yeah, I
MDOC
know,
here.
and that
I
may
get you
not
understand that.
Their email did not include where, I mean, he might be literally moving a quarter mile down the road.
Right. He could be moving his cell. I mean,
Well, it's out of that jail, it's out of that prison, but like I said, Jackson's got about three
I am
right in a row.
more than happy to leave it on
And then-
for, and then to address it next week. If we have a similar problem, I think that would take care of the 180-day, because that's the quickest date is 1 week. And then, so we understand the timeliness involved. And then if we can't get him here, we'll writ him out we should know where he is to writ out by next week. Would that suffice, Ms. Housefield?
Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Goodrich, would you like witnesses then in case he wants to run the prelim, or shall we treat it as a PCC?
We would like to have witnesses here and be
All right.
prepared to go.
All right.
We will do that, Your Honor.
Okay, so PCCL will leave on for prelim for Thursday morning, right?
No.
Yes, it was the 16th.
Yeah, 2/16 at 9 a.m.
And the issue of in custodies not being brought over was specific to the Ingham County
Yes,
Jail, correct?
that's my understanding.
Okay.
And the witnesses are left on for PCC. Witnesses are left on for prelim.
Thank you.
Anything else on the record in docket 21-01-885, Ms. Housefield?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything, Mr. Goodrich?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And then, Mr. Austin, did you need to speak with Mr. Bell?
I do, Your Honor, since our office was kind of pointed on that yesterday.
Do you, if you have the ability to join in, I can throw you in a breakout room with them.
I can do that, Your Honor, but before I do that, could counsel approach?
Sure.
I think this is Mr. Pfeiffer's case. I don't think he's in the court.
Okay.
But if I could just have one representative of the people approach with me.
Is this on the Bell case?
Correct, Your Honor.
Tell them I'm back, they send me over here to, get straight right here, and so then they gotta think me about this. Okay. I'll let you know. Yeah. I'm gonna take it easy, man. What does it mean, mother? What does it mean? I'm off today. Hey, mother, I know you busy. Look at this, look at this. This is my, you're not enough, that's my don't feel bad. Is the money in the corner, the money in the corner? That's my don't feel bad. Over there, well, I'm just saying, you hear me? So it ain't me, that's my, I don't feel bad. Okay, ain't that it? No, so it ain't me, mother. I'm off today. You know I can't spend it all. Yeah.
You just leave that in here. I'll like it for you.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, sir. All right. Only place you work today? That's probably. Now, what door? What door is it? Right here? Here we go, Sarge. I'll bring that ticket up and I go eat off. Nope.
And they're just like ICJ.
Sir, are you Jose Juarez at Bingham County Jail? at the Ingham County Jail, can you please identify yourself?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Does look like your mic.
You moved it to me. It's so. You didn't move that. You moved the TV.
Mr. Bell, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the microphones are not muted. Mr. Bell, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with your attorney, Mr. Austin, when he joins us, okay?
All right.
I don't know what's going on with the polycom. I see.
And Mr. Juarez, can you hear me? All right. The individual on B14DL, can you identify yourself?
Alvin Kendall.
And Mr. Kindle, you're here for your 9:30?
Yes,
Are you represented by counsel today?
I was supposed to meet counsel today.
And what attorney is that?
I haven't been appointed one yet.
All right, stand by. Sir, on the iPhone, would you identify yourself?
My name is Michael Lilly. My attorney called yesterday and said that I didn't have to appear, but I just wanted to just to make sure so I didn't violate bond.
You're all set, Mr. Lilly. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Kindle, I'll call your case next. You can unmute. We're on the record in docket 2300193. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Alvin Deshaun Kindle. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Randall Berman on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are Alvin Kindle?
Yes, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Kindle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are without counsel today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I've been indicated through the computer for the court system that you've been denied counsel by the public defender's office. Have you reapplied to them?
No, sir. I never knew I was denied.
Well, now you know you're denied. This is a probable cause conference, and we're set for next Thursday. Do you plan on reapplying? Do you plan on seeking your own legal representation? This is a felony, so it would be a bad idea for you to represent yourself in this matter.
Correct. Yes, I will reapply for counsel.
When do you plan on doing that?
I have to sometime today. I have to go try to do that today.
All right. You have that number for reapplication purposes?
No, sir, I do not.
Let me give you that number so you have it, so the record can indicate. that you were given the number. So the number at the public defender's office is 517-679-2979. You should indicate to that when you call them that you've made application and this is a reapplication. If you find out that they're not able to represent you because you do not fit their criteria, it is incumbent upon you and a priority for you to seek legal counsel for next Thursday, or else if you don't show up, you're going to get a bench warrant. 2, you're going to have to explain to the court why you don't have a lawyer to go forward for that preliminary examination. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Could you repeat that? Could you repeat that number for me again, please?
I sure can. The number is 517.
Yep.
679.
Yep.
2979. And
Yes,
you should
sir.
make sure that they're aware of the February 16th date, that you've already had your PCC.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Behrman, any questions concerning 23-00193?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Kindle?
No, sir.
All right, we'll see you next week at 9:30. Make sure you spend the next week making sure you have counsel for that day, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record. You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom, Mr. Kindle.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I was just
Ms. Rolfe, are you here on the Juarez case?
I am, Your Honor, and I am
All
so
right.
sorry that I'm not in person.
That's all right. Right now we're making sure. So on the Polycom, can you hear me? That is Mr. Juarez, right?
it looks like.
Sir, are you Jose Juarez?
Officer with them. I don't think they can trust.
I don't think they can hear.
He hears you.
So they can hear us right now. I've got Mr. Carter in the courtroom. I've got Ms. Rolfe on Zoom. I've got Mr. Juarez who appears he can hear me, but I can't hear him. So they're going to reboot, so to speak. So Ms. Rolfe, as soon as we get Mr. Juarez back, we'll put his case on the record, okay?
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Juarez, is that you? Can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Mr. Juarez, wave your hand if you can hear me. Mr. Juarez, can you hear me? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Well, that's not any.
Well, I feel comfortable going forward. I'll go and explain to him what
All right.
transpired. It is a PCC.
Yeah, we'll just
There
leave
is
it
good
on.
Cause
Yeah.
to adjourn
Right.
because of the jail thing.
They could move them somewhere else. They said.
You have them, yeah, let's move them so we can put it on the record. That shouldn't take long. So Ms. Rolfe, they're gonna move him to a place where he can hear me and I can hear him. And then right now it appears that the date Judge Simmons has given us for the prelim date, just so you have it, is
March 2nd.
March 2nd at 1:30.
Perfect.
But we'll put it on the record. It should take him about 5 minutes to move him.
Okay. No worries, Judge, I'm here. 30 p.m.
We're on the record in two cases. Docket 22-02591 and docket 22-03433. That's people, the state of Michigan versus Mark Anthony Mitchell. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Randall Berman on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Mitchell.
And this is the time set for a probable cause conference. It was set for 9:30. It is now 9:58. And Ms. Robinson, is Mr. Mitchell present for his probable cause conference?
I did not see him out in the hallway, and I don't believe he appeared on Zoom.
Okay, I do not see him in the Zoom courtroom. He is not in the physical courtroom. Mr. Behrman, how did you want to proceed today?
Thank you, Your Honor. Was the court do a 48-day hold or something to see if they?
We.
I would love a 48-day hold.
All right.
I like it though. Kind of like it. They are drug cases.
So do a 48-hour.
Correct.
Wait and see if they can find them. And
all right.
I note for the record, Your Honor, I sat this morning and wrote down all of his files. He's got 9 pending files, and he's got a 10th that's in review for another felony. And some of these he needs to be arraigned on. So
right, and I've got him on at least one file. He had a fail to appear on October 13th for arraignment, and then he had a fail to appear on November 18th at probable cause conference. A 48-hour hold was placed on that date, and then he was rearraigned. So I don't think I can place. It's within my discretion. But for fail to appear on two previous occasions, I'm going to indicate the defendants failed to appear, and a bench warrant and bond forfeitures ordered. Because of the prior fail to appears, I won't place a 48-hour hold on it.
Or a 48-day hold.
Or neither. I'm placing neither on it.
I'll make note of that. Thank you, Judge.
Although don't give Miss Robinson any ideas about a 48-day hold. Okay?
Yeah, I will only request 48-day holds from now on.
All right, so that's placed a bench warrant bond forfeiture for PCC. That's all for the record. 22-02591 and 22-03433. And it looks like they've moved Mr. Juarez.
Hello, could you hear me?
Yes, we can, Mr. Juarez. How are you today?
Blessed, I guess. I'm not sure.
You are a victim of technology. So we are on the record in docket 23-00351. The parties, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. So the parties please introduce themselves for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kristen Rolfe on behalf of the people.
May it please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of Mr. Juarez, who is in the county jail and appearing by polycom.
Sir, you are Jose Juarez or Juarez?
Affirmative, sir.
Okay. This is the time set for, and you can hear me all right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Rolfe, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, I've had a chance to speak with Mr. Carter both on the phone this morning and via email. And we have been told through the court, I think in the court staff, we do want to hold this examination and leave it set for the exam, but I think we need to get a new date because this is currently set, I believe, for next Thursday, the 16th.
All right. So this is a Judge Simmons case. And it's set for February 16, 2023 at 9. So do we want a date outside of that date, Ms. Rolfe?
Yes, Your Honor. And I believe Mr. Carter, the defendant, will be waiving the 21-day timeline. I will say also for the record, this is a co-defendant case, and the co-defendant has yet to be picked up. I am told by the officers involved in this case that they are currently looking for him. So hopefully we'll have all of the cases, together, and the new date, which I understand is going to be in March sometime.
All right, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think the prosecutor misspoke. I never talked to my client about waiving the 21-day.
Okay.
But I believe the court has good cause because the jail cannot transport inmates for next week. I want to make a record that I have been appointed as a conflict counsel in this matter. Just got some of the discovery yesterday. Could have been the day before, but printed it out yesterday. I'm still missing some discovery, and I had yet to interview my client to go visit him. So I want to make the record clear on that. I do plan on visiting him on Monday. I just looked at my schedule, and I'll be out at the county jail if they're allowing in attorney visits during the move week. But I will be out there to talk to him regarding that this case.
All right. So it's my understanding that we actually could leave it on for the morning of the 16th, right?
No in custody period.
No in custody period. That answers that question. So then, oh, and this is not my case. This is Judge Simmons' case, right? So I'm gonna adjourn it for good cause. Without the waiver of the 21-day rule, we still have discovery issues. We still have other issues concerning this matter. There's no transportation on the 16th in general. So I find there's good cause to adjourn the matter for discovery issues and lack of transportation. What's a new date on Judge Simmons' schedule?
Judge Simmons gave me the date of March 2nd at 1:30.
March 2nd, 2023 at 1:30. And then, Mr. Juarez, I know you had something to say. If you've not spoken to your attorney, I'd be very careful about any words that you put on the Zoom courtroom. Your attorney's going to go out there and visit you Monday, but you've raised your hand, so I will make inquiry as to what you wanted to say in this matter.
I would like to know, am I able to get a PR bond or a bail reduction or anything? I have.
Your bond is set at 25,000 cash or surety. Because of the nature of the felonies, I'm not willing to reduce that at this time, but your lawyer can explain that to you all on Monday. All right, sir?
Oh man, is there any way I can be able to get home anytime soon? My house is.
If I may, Your Honor, I understand my client's concern. I see that the bond is set at 25,000 cash surety, which is somewhat appropriate regarding the charges. However, when I meet with my client on Monday and go and interview him, if I feel that there's a need through him, that bond needs to be addressed before that time, I will contact his judge's staff. They're usually pretty good at hearing something like that on a quick basis.
All right. So this issue will be reissued, will be analyzed by your attorney Monday. And then it'll be brought to the attention of Judge Simmons' staff if there is a need for that. All right, sir?
Is there no way possible for a PR bond or anything at this moment?
You'll have to talk Monday to your lawyer about that.
Okay, so.
So is there
okay.
anything else for the record in docket 23-00351, Miss Ralph?
Nothing on behalf of the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Carter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Juarez, your counsel will be out to see you Monday, and your prelim is scheduled in front of Judge Simmons for March 2nd at 1:30. That's all for the record, docket 23-00351.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Carter, you're all set.
So,
We're on the record. We're on the record in docket 23-00249. People of the state of Michigan versus DeAndre Bell. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. And will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jared Austin appearing on behalf of Mr. Bell. He appears with us today remotely on Zoom from an MDOC facility.
Sir, you are Dondre Bell?
Yes.
Okay. You can hear me all right, Mr. Bell?
Yeah.
All right, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Pfeiffer, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, at this time, people would ask that it be left set for the preliminary examination.
All right. So and is that your understanding, Mr. Austin?
It is, Your Honor. I'm asking that the preliminary hearing be left on as scheduled for next week. Our office did not officially get on board on this case for Mr. Bell until late yesterday afternoon. However, from speaking with the people and looking at the police report on the computer, this is primarily a weapons case, Your Honor, so the discovery is rather short in nature. And what I told the people and what I told Mr. Bell, I think I can get a copy of that today. I'm willing to overnight that to him at the MDOC facility so that he can have a copy of that prior to the preliminary hearing next week. I'm going to make every effort, if at all possible, to speak with him in some fashion for that hearing next week after he's had a chance to receive and review that discovery.
All right. Now remind Mr. Austin through Mr. Bell that our staff will be in contact concerning any status conference date, okay?
Appreciate that.
All right. Anything else? So this is left on for preliminary examination at 9:30 on February 16th. If you have any questions, please keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Austin. Anything else, Mr. Pfeiffer, on 23-00249?
For the record, I just emailed a copy of the complaint and police report to Mr. Austin directly.
All right, perfect. Anything else for the record, Mr. Austin, on 23-00249?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bell, we'll see you back here on February 16th at 9:30, if not sooner. That's all for the record in that file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks. Who's that on the Polycom? No idea.
I think it's the other one that's in the files. I just didn't give it. But I could be wrong.
All right. Ms. Donnelly, are you here on a Judge Simmons file?
Your Honor, yes. I let the court know that I'm here for Vincent Mattson, that the probable cause conference, we didn't need to go on the record, but I noticed that he was on your Polycom for this morning, so I wanted to make sure and appear.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Donnelly. I don't have the file, so it's been left on. So we should be good. So, Mr. Mattson, your probable cause for conference has been left on for whatever date the court assigned on your case, all right?
Right. Okay.
Your Honor, I just wanted to let Mr. Mattson know that Vincent, I have scheduled a Polycom for this afternoon, and I will go over all the updates with you then, okay?
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Well, all right. So I'm not going to call the case, but thank you for your appearance today, Ms. Donnelly. And it sounds like Mr. Mattson's matter is taken care of.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Mattson, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Thank you for your appearance, Ms. Donnelly.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good one.
Yeah.